Congratulations. You have achieved something statistically incredible. You managed to spend 3 years in the market and still somehow owe it money. At this point, your broker sends you Christmas cards. People keep asking, "So, how's trading going?" And you've mastered the art of answering. It's a learning process. Translation: I blew another account yesterday. If someone genuinely wanted to become profitable, they don't need another course. They don't need another indicator. They just need to know exactly what you're about to do and do the complete opposite. Congratulations. You've accidentally become an educational institution. Every morning starts the same. You open TradingView with the confidence of a hedge fund manager. 5 minutes later, you're drawing trend lines like a 5-year-old discovering crayons. Support, resistance, channel, fib, another fib, one more fib, just in case Fibonacci forgot something. At some point, your chart has so many lines that even price can't find its way through them. But here's the amazing part. You still say things like, "Oh yeah, it's looking clean." Clean? Your chart looks like someone dropped spaghetti on a monitor. Then comes your favorite hobby, changing time frames. 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly, back to 1 minute. Because now you're confused professionally. You know what's funny? Every time frame tells you something different. The 1 minute says buy. The 15 minute says sell. The hourly says wait. The daily says go outside. Eventually, you find the one time frame that agrees with the trade you've already decided to take. That's called confirmation bias, or as traders call it, analysis. Then you head to YouTube, because apparently, before risking your money, you need permission from strangers. This guy says Bitcoin is going to 200,000. This guy says it's crashing tomorrow. This guy says institutions are manipulating retail. This guy says market makers are hunting your stop loss. Mate, the market isn't hunting your stop loss. It doesn't even know you exist. You finally decide to enter. Then, for absolutely no reason, you check Twitter one last time. Big mistake. Someone has just posted, "Don't trade today." No explanation. No evidence. Just vibes. Immediately, you close your trade. The market then proceeds to move exactly where you originally predicted. Naturally, at this point, you become so good at predicting markets that your greatest talent is not being in them. And then, the greatest sentence in trading history leaves your mouth. "I'll wait for the pullback." No, you won't. You'll watch it run without you. Then FOMO in. Then panic. Then move your stop loss. Then remove your stop loss. Then pray. Not because you're religious, because your trade is. You know what? Maybe the market isn't against you. Maybe, just maybe, you've dedicated your entire trading career to buying the top and selling the bottom, like it's your full-time job. And judging by your P&L, you're employee of the month. You don't actually trade. You collect strategies. There's a difference. Most traders have one strategy. You have 27, all carefully organized inside a folder called Final Strategy. Inside that folder is another folder called Final Strategy 2. Then, Final Strategy Final. Then, Final Strategy Final New. Then, the one. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Every Sunday, you have an identity crisis. This week, I'm an ICT trader. By Wednesday, you're trading supply and demand. Thursday, you're a scalper. Friday, you've discovered XYZ. Saturday, you're making a YouTube playlist called How I Finally Became Profitable. You made that playlist 6 times. Some traders master one edge. You master starting over. Your broker absolutely loves personal growth because every time you evolve, they make more money. 1 losing trade. 2 losing trades. Interesting. 3 losing trades. This strategy is garbage. Never mind the fact. You broke every rule. Moved your stop loss. Ignored your entry. Entered early. Exited early. Risked 3 times what you planned. But yes, clearly, the strategy failed you. It's amazing how disciplined you become. When you're backtesting, oh wow, this strategy wins 68% of the time. Then you trade it live. First loss. This can't be right. Second loss. I think the market has changed. Third loss. I'm learning smart money now. Your strategy hasn't even had time to unpack its suitcase before you've replaced it. You know what your favorite indicator is. Hope. Hope crosses above reality and gives you a buy signal. You buy a new course. Finally, the missing piece. 3 hours later, the instructor says, risk management is everything. Fantastic. You just paid $400 to hear what you've been ignoring for free. Your bookmarks bar looks like a museum. Price action, ICT, SMC, order blocks, supply and demand, Elliott wave, volume profile, market profile, options flow, footprint charts, DOM, liquidity sweeps, fair value gaps. If knowledge alone made people profitable, you'd own a hedge fund by now. The funniest part? Every strategy worked while someone else was explaining it. The candles look so obvious. So that's all they do. Yes, until you open your own chart. Suddenly, every candle has 17 personalities. This is bullish. No, bearish. Actually, it's manipulation. Wait, it's accumulation. It's probably distribution. It's definitely something. Eventually, you zoom out so much you're analyzing candles from 2018 to justify a trade you're taking today. And then my favorite sentence. This strategy doesn't fit my personality. Really? You know what doesn't fit your personality? Following rules. Imagine hiring a personal trainer. Then after every workout, you ignore everything they said. Eat 2 pizzas and blame the workout. That's basically your relationship with every trading strategy you've ever touched. Let's be honest. The market isn't waiting for you to find the perfect strategy. It's waiting to see if you'll follow one for longer than 9 business days. Because deep down, you don't have a strategy problem. You have a commitment problem. You've been dating indicators when you should have been marrying a system. One thing I've noticed about unprofitable traders is that they have an extraordinary relationship with risk. They say things like, I only risk 1% per trade. That's true right up until they lose 3 trades in a row. Suddenly, 1% isn't enough anymore. Now it's time to make it back. Funny how risk management disappears the moment it's actually needed. The logic is fascinating. You lose $50, so your next thought is, I'll just risk $300 on this next one. It's a really good setup. According to whom? The same person who just lost the last 3 trades. It's like asking a man who's hopelessly lost for directions because he's due for a lucky guess. Then comes the famous phrase, this setup feels different. Every unprofitable trader has said those words at least once a week. The market doesn't care about your feelings. It has no emotional attachment to your confidence level. It doesn't reward conviction. It rewards execution. And let's talk about moving stop losses. You placed it there for a reason. You analyzed the chart. You calculated your risk. You accepted the loss before entering. Then price gets close to your stop, and suddenly you're negotiating with yourself like you're buying tomatoes at a local market. Maybe just 5 more pips. Okay, 10. Let's give it some room. Before long, your stop loss has relocated to another continent. Congratulations. You've transformed a controlled loss into a financial documentary. Then, when the trade finally hits your newly relocated stop, you announce, the market hunted my stop. No, it hunted the stop you originally placed. The other 3 stop losses were entirely your own construction project. The take profit is somehow the complete opposite. The moment you're up $20, you're already calculating what you can buy with it. You close the trade, lock in your tiny profit, and proudly tell yourself that profit is profit. 5 minutes later, you watch the market continue another 300 points in your original direction. Suddenly, you're giving a TED Talk on patience while staring at money you voluntarily left on the table. Losing trades stay open forever because they'll come back. Winning trades get closed immediately because you never go broke taking profits. Somehow you've trained yourself to do exactly the opposite of what successful traders do. You cut your winners short and give your losers a five-star hotel experience. Then there's revenge trading, one of the market's greatest comedy genres. You lose one trade, so naturally you enter another one immediately. Not because it's a valid setup, but because your ego has scheduled a rematch. The market has already moved on, but you're still emotionally involved. You know what revenge trading reminds me of? Walking into a casino, losing one hand of blackjack, and saying, "Deal again. This time I'm angry." As if frustration is some kind of trading edge. And somehow, after all of this, you'll sit back at the end of the day and say, "I just had bad luck today." Bad luck. You ignored your plan, doubled your risk, moved your stop loss, closed your winner too early, held your loser too long, revenge traded twice, and entered a random trade because someone on social media tweeted a rocket emoji. At some point, we have to stop calling it bad luck and start calling it excellent consistency. Because if there's one thing you've mastered, it's finding new and creative ways to lose money. If trading mistakes pay dividends, you'd finally be profitable. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. The market isn't your enemy. The banks aren't sitting in a meeting trying to figure out how to take your $37.42. Market makers aren't waking up every morning saying, "Gentlemen, our first mission today is to stop out David from Birmingham." You're simply not that important. The market doesn't know your name. It doesn't know your account balance. It doesn't know how badly you need this trade to work because rent is due on Friday. It just moves. And every single day, it gives people exactly the same opportunities. Some people take them. Some people manufacture disasters out of them. Guess which group you've been volunteering for? You know what's ironic? You've probably spent hundreds, maybe thousands of hours learning about the market. Candlestick patterns, liquidity, order blocks, risk-to-reward ratios, economic news, indicators, strategies, psychology. You can explain all of it. You just can't seem to do any of it. It's like reading every cookbook in the world and still burning toast. At some point, you have to ask yourself a difficult question. What if profitability isn't hiding inside the next YouTube video? What if it isn't inside the next course? Or the next Discord group? Or the next indicator? Or the next mentor? What if the trader standing between you and profitability is the one staring back at you in the mirror every morning? Because here's what I've learned. Unprofitable traders don't usually lose because they don't know enough. They lose because they refuse to do the boring things consistently. Following the same plan, taking the same setups, accepting small losses, waiting, doing nothing. Doing nothing might actually be the hardest trade you've ever taken. Nobody posts screenshots of the trades they didn't take. Nobody celebrates the discipline to stay out of the market. But that's often where the real money is made. So maybe you don't need another strategy. Maybe you just need to stop getting in your own way. Maybe the profitable version of you has been there all along, buried underneath impatience, ego, fear, FOMO, and the strange belief that every trade has to change your life. Here's the good news. Everything I've said in this video can be fixed. The bad news? You have to fix it. No indicator can do it. No mentor can do it. No AI can do it. The responsibility is annoyingly, unfairly, completely yours. And that's actually the best part. Because if you're the problem, you can also become the solution. So be honest. Which part of this video exposed you the most? Was it the 27 final strategies? The moving stop loss? The revenge trading? The YouTube addiction? Or did you feel personally attacked from the opening sentence? Confess in the comments. We're all anonymous here anyway. And if this video felt less like entertainment and more like someone had secretly installed cameras above your trading desk, congratulations. You're exactly the person this video was made for.